libation of the worm. I awoke in an open grave, trembling in the cool dirt as I unfurled limb by limb from a shuddering fetal pose. Beside me, a glass vial contained a drop of fluorescent green liquid. Drool fell from my quivering lips as I placed it to my mouth and convulsed like a man freshly hung. The chemical nectar dribbled down my chin. With a swollen tongue, I licked the liquid from my cracked lips. Filthy fingers probed my wrinkled neck for any hint of sticky moisture. I drew my hand into my mouth to suckle the drippings off my crusty digits. The sweet acidity of the efflua danced across my tongue. With a muffled moan, I curled back into a ball to savor the toxic flavors. There was a wet, squelching sound, like a squishing of bloody meat. A dull pain coursed through my neck. I took my drool-sodden hand and placed it to the back of my head. A hard lump next to my spine moved before sinking deeper into my flesh. I cried out, scratching the spot in a nervous fit. Blood and pus trickled down my skin as I opened half-healed abscesses. I crawled to the grave's edge until my head hit the dirt perimeter. Above me, night-cloaked fog floated past an earthen window. The sky beckoned to me. I longed for a breath of fresh air after lying for so long within my sepulchral prison. I began to claw at the dirt walls, pulling myself up one muddy handful at a time, until at last I strained with a burning pull to haul my tainted body above ground. Beside the grave lay 2 empty vials of efflua and my shovel, the bars of my self-imposed prison. I rose, using the marker of the fresh grave for balance. The cemetery shifted around me. Tombstones multiplied under the blur of my double vision. Obelisk gargoyles leered at me with their shifting eyes. It was clear the efflua had hold of me yet. I looked at the letters on the plinth. Corinne Laris, they read. And the name rang a bell in some recessed chamber of my mind. I knew it to be of great import, but couldn't, at that moment, recall why. There was another wet squelching inside my head. I scratched at my raw skin, bloodying my filthy hands. My mind conjured images of worms crawling about my brain and laying eggs in my juicy gray matter. My pace quickened through the cemetery, yet, try as I might, I couldn't outrun the noises that festered within me. Every gargoyle I passed looked on with jovial mockery, as though they reveled in my torment. You know they aren't actually laughing at you, silly, spoke a voice. Who said that? I asked aloud. My head spun in circles. Nothing but weathered tombstones surrounded me, and yet the voice was too close to be emanating from beyond the fog. No, I'm hiding. taunted the voice. Where are you? Inside you, silly Billy, the voice responded. I froze, trembling like a leaf. Inside me? Yep, you betcha. I'm your little worm friend, living right inside your brainy little brainstem. That's when I realized the voice wasn't coming from outside my body, but inside my own head, like an intrusive thought. Sweat spilled from every pore as the world began to spin. I gripped a snarling gargoyle to keep from falling over. Spots blotted my vision as a phantom buzz rang in my ears. Don't panic, silly, the voice said. Don't panic. Don't panic. Wait, you idiot. There must be an answer to this. Tales abounded of alchemists becoming incensed from a bad batch of efflua. Those peddlers could add anything from paint thinner to corpse grubs. Corpse grubs. The thought sent a tremble down my arthritic spine. That's what you get when you drink all that green stuff, silly. Want to see how big I'll get after I pop out of you? You see that shadow over there in the fog? Go over there. My big brother's waiting for you. You'll see. In the distance, a black shape lay perched atop a sepulchre. I took small, trembling steps as I feared reaching the end of the mist would sound the death knell for my sanity. My heart pounded in my chest as my vision blurred. I felt the pulse of a head-splitting migraine that should have brought me to my knees. Yet I remained upright as though an unseen force beckoned me forward. Passing through the gloomy wall, I beheld a figure glistening in the dim twilight like some obsidian statue of a mutated fly. It grasped the stone perch with 8 thin limbs. The wings on its back were semi-transparent, and thinking it a sculpture, I admired the craftsmanship until I saw its face. 3 compound eyes on a conical head rotated to stare at me. A long proboscis snaked into an open pine box. Inside lay the body of Corinne, my latest undertaking, the daughter of my long-dead lover, the girl who seemed so much a composite of her mother and myself. Dear innocent Corinne, the only girl I ever ran from. When I saw her corpse, the regret of my abandonment nearly killed me, and so I drank a deep libation of my beloved efflua to cure me of my conscience. Aww, such a sad little Billy. But don't worry though, I'll turn out just fine, no matter how much you drink, the voice exclaimed with glee. Tears streamed down my face as the fly's long tongue released from her neck with a suctioning pop. A stream of blood trickled from the red ring where the bug had drunk her dry. Its prehensile mouth rose and beckoned me to come closer. Don't be scared. My brother just wants a little sippy sip of your bloody blood. I told him how silly you get when you drink all that green stuff, and now he's just a wee teeny bit curious. I walked forward without wanting to move at all. I tried to tighten my limbs to stop or run, but it was useless. Come on, slowpoke, the worm said. Against my will, I kneeled before the giant fly and proffered my swollen neck to its chuffing mouth. All I could do was sob as the drooling proboscis ran up and down my weeping sores. Sticky slime mixed with my bloody sweat before its pointed tip penetrated my flesh. It suckled at my neck like a voracious lover, and I felt nothing save a slight tingle as I grew numb. The cemetery faded beneath a shroud of black fog. Sleepy time, silly Billy.